Good morning. It's Tuesday, December 29th. Welcome to day 29 of our COVID Christmas journals. I'm Pauline. I run the Scrapbook Room, a mobile and online scrapbook store, and I offer inspiration and friendship to paper crafters just like you in the Scrapbook Playroom on Facebook. Let's get started with today's prompt. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a mess today. I've been working on journal pages for a few weeks now, and my office is almost unfindable, but we're working our way through. We've only got a few days left, and we will be done. Today, I feel kind of like California dreaming on a winter's day. Well, we basically had a green, or almost green Christmas in Northern Ontario. Today, it is white. There's barely enough snow to bother shoveling, but it's what I've been dreading. I am not a winter person. So yes, we're about to settle in for winter. New Year's is fast approaching, and then we'll hunker down for a few months. I kind of feel like I'm already hunkered down, especially with the most recent shutdown going on. If you're like me, you're already awaiting spring. Normally, I'm starting to count down to an annual trip to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico right now. This year, I'm trying not to dwell on Mexico. Instead, I'm focusing on spring, how to keep busy. Tax season's on the horizon for me. I have another job in the works too. My Shopify store needs some TLC, and that's just the work stuff. So really, plenty to keep me busy. Still, as much as I hate going out in the cold, I hate being housebound too. So I constantly seek ways to escape. But perhaps you're someone who enjoys the outdoors in winter. Are you skiing? ATM riding? Just walking in winter wonderlands? What is your winter self looking forward to? Have you got books to read? What are they? Shows to watch? List them. Scrapbooks to make? Describe them. Any other hobbies or activities? Take photos of things you want to do, like a shoebox of photos to scrapbook, new crafting goodies to use, the TV remote, and a list of TV shows to watch, a recipe book to go through. Show or tell how you plan to spend the first few months of 2021. Don't yet know what's ahead? Then capture the world exactly as you see it today, inside or out. Take a photo. If there's lots of snow, capture it. Take a close-up of trees loaded with snow, an icicle hanging from the house. And if it's still green out, capture that too. I wanted to show you I made a couple of mini albums for a couple of little girls I know. They're based on our model that we've used in our journals, and I simply added some different colored pages and put their names on the front. So really cute little books, good gift idea if you're looking, whether it's for an adult or a child. Now, in my mini album today, I mimicked the design of yesterday's layout. I attached a green horizontal mat to the page. I added 3 brown circles on the top right, one with the date. 2 others I decorated with stickers that I wanted to represent everyday tasks. Then for the title, I wrote "Back to Normal" on a label, and I matted it the same way as I did yesterday's label, complete with the inverted V cuts. The image of the car with the tree on the roof is visible on the patterned paper background, but I'm thinking it's still a representation of the season, or perhaps it could signify taking the tree away. And I've heard a few people say today is the day they'll be doing just that. How about you? When does your tree come down? So you've got lots of things you can write about today. We're reflecting on Christmas being over, on heading into the new year. Things we want to do, things we have to do. Take the time to list that in your journal, and I will be right back with today's tips. Moving on to today's tips, let's use napkins in our albums. As a heads up, napkin transfer decoupage is a new technique to me, but one I've been wanting to try, as you can see from my growing collection of napkins. I decided to use this idea in my own larger album, so I went ahead and applied a piece yesterday so that it would be dry for today. I used perfect paper adhesive, also known as PPA glue, to attach this napkin to my page. So I attached it part on the cardstock, part on the onion skin. I tore it here in the center so that small pocket flap would still lift up. I'm not entirely happy with the results. Perhaps it was the glue, or that I didn't use enough glue. It's a bit shabby, even for my style. So I tried a couple of different methods. The first one was simply putting decoupage glue onto the page as you saw in my book. The second method was slightly more involved, but did get me better results. So I started with a piece of heavy plastic. An old page protector could do the trick. You put the napkin into position and you pour some water onto the napkin, enough to get it all wet. And I'm going to do that. And I need to lightly tilt to make everything get wet. I will drip a little bit off. Then I'm going to take my brush. Now I'm going to very gently try to get the wrinkles and bubbles out. So this is a little bit time consuming. I can also use my fingers a little to very gently. You have to be very careful. It will tear the napkin. Personally, I don't mind a few wrinkles, so I'm not too worried about that. You can also dab up some of the excess water. Any kind of cloth. I'm using my handy dandy distress towel, which will be available to purchase in the shop soon. And I am rushing this along today. Once you've got enough water absorbed and the wrinkles all pressed out, you're going to take your material and we are going to turn this over onto our surface. Once I have it there, the card, and start pushing to apply this. As you can see, you can lift it a bit to reposition. Not a big deal yet. And we're going to push and push. As I said, I'm trying to rush this for filming purposes, but normally take your time. When it's adhered, grab the edge of your plastic and gently, I think I may have a bit too much water here. And there we go. I will gently pull the excess off the edges, and later I can take a piece of sandpaper to burnish this off. And now I'm going to add some white glue to the surface, and I will coat. Oops, being a little too rough, as you can see. And there we go. And I will put that aside and let it dry. It will look like this. It is a little wrinkled, as you can see, but if you take the iron and pass it, it ends up like this. And I'm pretty happy with that. So as I said, it's a little more involved, but I like the result better. But I have one more method I want to use. I tried this and I am loving it. So look how my snow scene turned out. Can you believe that's a napkin? It looks just like a piece of paper. And here, this bird, that's a perfect journaling card without all the mess of the glue. So I'm going to do this from the beginning. So the first thing we need to do is separate our napkin. Now sometimes it's a little hard to find the edge here. And if you're fighting with that, there is an easy way to do it. I'll take a piece of Scotch tape and I will put it on this corner and I lift, and there it is. As you can see, this is a 3-ply napkin. There are 2 more plies here. I just want this talking. So pull, some will be a little tighter around this embossed edge. This one comes off quite nicely. So I'm going to cut across my seam here, and I will dip down a little because I don't really need all that on my page. And let's see, I think I probably want to start about here. So I'm going to cut this edge off, and it will fit snugly in there. I'm not going to worry too much about this. I can trim it later. Next, I need a piece of saran wrap. I want it to cover my image, your surface underneath, my page, my image, and we are going to top this with a piece of parchment paper. Probably would be better to do it while it's not in a cage, but this is how I am. And I start ironing. And just going to iron here. It does take a bit of time. I will speed up and cut off the video. My brother used to operate a scrapyard, and he found this handy dandy little iron in the trunk of a car. I just realized I have a camera here. I apologize for that. And brought it over to me, asked if I could use it, and of course, it's a perfect little tool, whether I'm using it at home in my scrap room or taking it on the road with me. So happy to know he was thinking of me. I like to say we were both in the scrap business. So let's take a peek here and see how this is looking. I think we're getting not bad. As I said, this would be much better to do before your page is in the book. And for my purposes, I don't care if it's a little shabby here. I think I can trim this up a little. I'm a little loose here, so I'm just going to iron that a wee bit more to get that down. If you find the edges aren't attaching, just iron a little more. Pay really careful attention to the edges. Napkin nice and secured. Once it's secured, basically what we've done is melt the saran wrap into it, and it's not going to go anywhere. So there we have it. I will need to trim up a little bit of this plastic here. But overall, what do you think? I think I like today's look better than yesterday's. Although both are not bad. So, as I said, fun technique to try. There's so many pretty napkins out there. I also ironed this piece on, so I have several pieces that I can use in my journal. I find decoupage with the glue the messiest method. Plus, I feel like there's more chance of ruining your image that way. If you only have one napkin, you won't want to do that. You could use a solid print napkin to create your own scrapbook paper with this technique, or you could take smaller pieces to cover tags or journal spots, or a full piece could be cut into an envelope, or make a background for a greeting card. Try it out. Send someone a Happy New Year card. And I will see you tomorrow.